We are live.
Thank you.
Okay. I think this week also we have a issue with Twitter again. Okay, we'll fix it. This is Sean Shankaran. Good morning, America. Good evening, India. Today we are going to continue on the topic Gandhi at 155. How Gandhi is still relevant even after 155 years of existence. And we are going to have a very interesting topic, Gandhian Changemakers. Without much ado, I'll let Sam Pitroda give a quick introduction on what we are trying to talk. Actually, go ahead, Sam.
Thank you, Sean. Greetings, everyone. First, I want to welcome our friend Bala, who is going to be really leading the conversation today. We are delighted to have him. He and I had a brief chat on Gandhi, and I know he's one of those true Gandhian who walks the talk. Gandhi is more relevant today than ever before. I have said this time and time again. Unfortunately, when I talk to young people, invariably we get into a conversation where they would tell me that no, Gandhi is too old. Gandhian things don't work in this world. And I feel sorry for them and for their understanding of Gandhi. Gandhi is not about the man in small dhoti and no shirt. Gandhi is not about no hair and glasses. Gandhi is not about poverty. Gandhi is not about old ideas. Gandhi is about character, values, commitment, courage. Gandhian things that we were taught in school 80 years ago, 75 years ago, 70 years ago, 50 years ago mean same thing even today. Truth is truth. Trust is trust. Love is love. It has no reference to time. So Gandhian values do not have reference to time. Understanding of Gandhian values may get distort your view of Gandhi. Gandhi had solutions for almost everything because it came from very fundamental approach to life. He always emphasized local talent, local resources, local capabilities. And Bala and I were talking just before we started. That Western world became rich by really looting the resources of the poor. Asia, Africa, even in America. They came from outside, mainly Europe, basically looted and killed local Indians, and the nation was born, which they call now United States of America, in which original people have very little role to play. But when you talk like this, you are seen as the enemy of the West. Gandhi and Gandhian ideas at times are linked to the enemy of the West. Not true. Gandhian ideas were for humanity. Gandhi stood for planet and people and not for profit and power. I mean, that's the fundamental difference. Now you can go and spend days and days to have a deeper conversation on these things. And for that, we have decided that we'll bring in some experts one by one, and we'll have a series of conversations on Gandhi. If we can, through these conversations, convert 100 people to Gandhian thought, I think we would have accomplished our task. I want young people to study Gandhi not on the surface, but deep in thoughts, ideas, and see what you think you can apply to in your day-to-day life. And today we will start with our first conversation with an expert Gandhian who has lived it. I want you all to listen to him carefully I want all of us to have deeper conversation with him, and we want to remain connected because what he is doing is so very important piece of the larger puzzle. And no one man today is capable of solving all the problems. We each will have to do our own little bit, and it can only start from within. So, with this, I want to once again welcome Bala, and I'm sure we'll all enjoy his presentation and then open up for a broader conversation. Bala, thank you for taking time out from your busy schedule and join us. Thank you. Over
Thank
to
you,
you.
Mr. Sam.
Thank you, Sam. Bala, before that, just why don't you give a quick introduction? Kind of, how did you got inspired by Gandhi views during your student days, and then what led you to analyze many such change makers? And also, you can give a small introduction why this topic as change makers, how many of these people are relevant. I can then share the PowerPoint.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Shan. Basically, I come from a small village in interior Tamil Nadu. My father is a small farmer who owned 2 acres of land. When I was studying in my first standard, there was a cooperative society, milk society was started in my village. Before that, I used to be woken up early in the morning, and my job was to sit on the road to ensure that the milkman who comes to collect milk from us does not go away without collecting during winter time when the milk production is surplus. I never knew why that was there. But when the milk society came in, that problem vanished because the milk society procured all the milk which we could produce in our home, our farm. Uh, 17 years later, I realized that that was due to one man called Dr. Kurian. And 17 years later, I realized that was due to a movement called Amul, which started in Gujarat. So that's when and then fortunately for me, I studied my undergraduation in agriculture, and then I went to IRMA, which Institute of Rural Management Anand, which was started by Dr. Kurian to prepare managers for the cooperative and voluntary sector. When I was there I saw Dr. Kurian in flesh and blood, how he worked, and I could understand how this movement is very important for a small farmer like my father. So that was very inspirational, though in my journey, I could not stay because if I have not studied and come out, the 2.5 acres would not have given me anything. I would have really suffered. But then when I went through the various solutions, various ideas like, liberalization, corporatization, everything, I realized that it was not doing anything to the common man. It is not doing anything to the common man on the road like my father. And they are even today 50% of Indian society, which is 70 crore people. So somewhere I realized that whatever solutions which are sustainable, which are successful, which are people centric, are the ideas which comes from Gandhi. If it is a Khadi village board or a milk society or some of the initiatives today, one of the initiatives I'm going to talk about, they are all the ones which are aimed at servicing the last man in the pyramid, which is what he says, Gandhi says in his talisman. So Gandhi, when he read a book Unto the Last, then he realized that working for the last man in the pyramid is the original or the only worthwhile service which we can do. And after 57 years of my age, I've seen various solutions, but I have not seen a solution better, sustainable, cheaper, impacting the livelihoods positively of the last man in the pyramid. There are no solutions other than Gandhi. And I see in day-to-day life, in even larger political crisis, I say Gandhi's ways of doing things are the ones which are being successful time and again. So my conviction is based out of my experience. My conviction is based out of the fact that I also run a private company here. But in spite of all of it, I still think Gandhian way is the best and sustainable one.
I have one question. Long ago, I think the very first time I met you is you wrote an article in the Tamil Hindu about Gandhian Changemakers. I think the first topic you chose is Sam Pitroda.
Yes.
Even though we may not be going to discuss Sam Pitroda and Sam Pitroda's accomplishments through Gandhian ways discussed multiple times, I just want to hear your response, just a quick response. Why you thought Sam Pitroda used Gandhian ways to kind of bring the changes, whatever we are seeing in.
So I'll give one unusual example of Mr. Sam Pitroda's work. India used to import 80% of its edible oils into the country. Okay, none of us know about this initiative which was started, and it was given up halfway through. 1986, we started an edible oil project in India, and it was the job was handed over to National Dairy Development Board, and they launched a brand called Dhara. They also launched farmers, that is oilseed producers cooperative in 8 states, and then they launched a brand called Dhara. Within 2 years of its launch, Dhara captured more than 60% of the edible oil market in the country. In 1990, after 4 years of starting that project, we have stopped imports of edible oils into the country. Edible oil is the second largest, I would say, foreign exchange guzzler in the country, and which was stopped. That was the kind of an achievement which Mr. Sam Pitroda did, and it benefited millions of edible oil farmers, edible oil seed production farmers. So I was one of the executives worked in that project, and I was personally aware, and that's why I thought Sam's approach is very Gandhian. Of course, we all know about his initiatives in telecom, in vaccines. One of my, I don't know, in the Tamil film, we all know a film called Padinar Vaidinile, where the hero of the film is called Chapani, who is actually a polio victim. In 1986, 70% of world's polio victims were in India. We decided to go to the 21st century. We need, this cannot happen. So we gave that polio vaccines free. In 2013, we have eliminated polio out of this country. And it is free and is given to the common man. I mean, you can't have better Gandhian examples than this kind of initiative done by Mr. Sam.
Sean, someday we should talk about technology missions.
Yes,
because younger generation don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
This was 40 years ago. What Bala is saying is all about technology missions on immunization, edible oil, literacy, water, telecom, and milk production.
Yeah.
I think people have a convenient way of compartmentalizing you into that whatever telecom stuff, Sam. I think.
But it's not me. It is India. It is not me. It is India. A lot of people worked on it. There is a gentleman, Dr. Jacob Jones from Guntur. Okay. He was the immunization expert.
Yeah.
I can tell you stories after stories on him. He's still alive. He must be 90 something. Okay. What a man, I tell you. Yeah. And that's what India is all about.
Correct.
Okay. Go ahead, please.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bala, continue, Bala. I want to hear you.
Yeah, without much ado, I can share the presentation, Bala, so you can. Yeah.
See, basically, when we talk about Gandhian way, again, I would like to start from that. We think Gandhi is somebody who's frozen in history. I want to tell you this example is something, a very recent example of a Gandhian way, which shows that, see, Gandhi is not, as Sam rightly said, is about his dhoti or his charka or his, one or two products which are khadi, one or two products which are associated with him. Gandhian approach is essentially about using local resources, using local talent to find out solutions for local problems. Therefore, what happens is the local community lives peacefully. Gram Swarajya means it is not only about one or two items. It is about having a peaceful life for the last man in the pyramid in a local society without wasting too much of resources. So the Gandhi's talisman, we can move to the next slide.
Amalo Prabhavanathan has joined, so in case maybe attend, he can speak.
I'll do one thing.
Go ahead, Bala. You go ahead, Bala.
Yeah, I'll finish this and I'll introduce why Dr. Amalopanathan is an important person here.
Sounds good.
So, yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. Welcome to the presentation. Gandhi's talisman, it says that whenever you face to the dilemma as to what your next step should be, remember the most wretched and the vulnerable human being you ever saw. The step you contemplate should help him. That is a simple point. You don't require to support the government or anyone need to support a person like me who can take care of myself. The approach is that you do something which should benefit the last man in the pyramid. Next. So we are here. Here we are going to talk about one important initiative which was started in the 1980s by a Dr. couple, Abhay Bang and Rani Bang. Mr. Abhay Bang is a son of a Gandhian economist called Thakur Das Bang, who used to teach in Nagpur, and he was imprisoned during the 1942 Quit India and was sent to prison for 2 years. After he was released somewhere in 1945, India was about to get independence. So a lot of the government of India thought they should send people to USA and other developed economies to get them trained, and so that they can come back and serve Indian government in various capacities. So Thakurdas Bank had got an admission of PhD in one of the US universities. So he was working with Gandhi. So he went and met Gandhi in his Vardha ashram. He placed the admission letter at Gandhi's feet to take his blessings. So Gandhi asked him, "What is this?" So Thakur Das Bang said that I've got a scholarship and I've got a admission in US. The government of India is helping me to study PhD. Gandhi told him, if you want to study PhD, please go to a nearest village, work with people, and do something about the people. You will learn economics there. So for Thakur Das Bang, there is no, he can't actually speak against Gandhi. For him, Gandhi is the last word. So true to Gandhi's directive, he went and lived in a village nearby Wardha, and he worked for the common man. And then he spent his lifetime doing that. So he had two sons, and one was Abhay Bang, and he had an elder brother. Abhay Bang and his brother both studied in the schooling called in a model called Nai Thalim, which is the new way of school, which is more of activity-based learning, or something broadly we can call it. Where when he was in sixth standard, he was given a small piece of land to till. So he was asked to farm and produce something, and he should produce and take the produce to the local mandi and sell it, and he should learn that entire process of farming. So he grew the brinjal, and then he wanted to understand how to add the fertilizers and all that. There were no fertilizers no allowed in that farm. So he went and picked up the gobar, and then the urine of the cows, and he applied to the plant, and it grew, and the entire brinjal became too big actually. So the produce was very, very big brinjals, which we took it to the mandi, and then nobody was willing to buy that brinjal because they were too big sizes, and they've never seen a brinjal like that. That was one of the lessons. He says that later, when he was to design his own initiative, he was very clear that the consumer should accept whatever you produce. It is not that what you produce, the consumer should see what he wants. That one approach he learned out of that lesson when he was in school. Then he went on to study medicine in Nagpur. Rani was his classmate. So they both studied post-graduation. Abhay Bang was a general physician and Rani Bang was a gynecologist. After that, both of them went to John Hopkins, where they studied Master of Public Health, and they came back and then started this organization called Search, which is in the town Gadchiroli. Gadchiroli is part of the Dandakaranya forest, which actually spans across 5-6 states in central India. They started working with the tribal community. So first thing they wanted to do is that they wanted to intervene in the public health. They had called everyone for a jatra, some kind of a festival, and at the end of the festival, they sat with the tribal community and started talking about creating an hospital and healthcare facility for the tribals. And then that is how they evolved. Then they said they will build a small hospital. So the tribals themselves came with ideas of how the hospital should be built. And to his surprise, the tribal said that hospital should be called as Ma Danteshwari Davakhana. Okay, for somebody who studied in John Hopkins, this name sounded very funny. But since that is the suggestion by the local community, they have accepted that. And then they identified 4 major problems of that particular community. The first one was the deaths during the deliveries, and the young children's death of children also. These 2 were listed as one of the important one. And then they talked about alcoholism. Third one, they talked about malaria. So these are the projects, important problems which the tribal community listed. So they said this is our problem. So with this, they started this entire initiative with a vision. You can go to the next. They say that our vision is to realize Arogya Swaraj. Exactly Gandhi's words, and it is in 1980s, mid 1980s. People's health in people's hands. So people will take care of their own health by organizing themselves, empowering individuals and communities to take charge of their own health, and thereby help them achieve freedom from disease as well as dependence. So this is the kind of vision where they said the problems are there, the solutions also should come from the community itself. That is the vision of their initiative. You can go to the next. So that is when there were 39 villages in and around Gadchiroli, and these villages are far and deep into the forest, and this was dominated by the Gond tribals. So these people lived in remote hamlets within the forest. They have a peculiar customs. For example, childbirth happens in a separate dark small hut outside the house, and once the lady delivers a baby, she will not come out of the hut for 30 days. Now you can imagine when dark hut and the delivery happens in the traditional way, and the mother and the little born baby is no confined to that dark place, which is not hygienic. You can imagine the kind of problems they will have. So they were completely ignorant of modern medicines and vaccinations. There was no transport facilities. If there is an emergency, whether the mother has to be transported to a hospital, there were no transport facilities. So they designed, Abhay and Ranibang designed a system wherein they will select one woman for every one of those 39 villages and train them to dispense at the village itself. As soon as the mother gets pregnant, she will be given all kinds of directions, support, supplements, everything, so that she is prepared for a healthy delivery. And during delivery also, she'll be helping over there, and post delivery she will be administering all the vaccines and other immediate required I would say services. Now this is a problem. These women are all badly educated. Many of them can't read and write. And how can they dispense modern medicine like vaccines and things like that? It was a moral and legal dilemma. So what they did was, first they've decided to go ahead. They trained the 39 people, and then they called the head of pediatric care of AIMS, Dr. Meherban Singh, and they requested them to come and evaluate these 39 people. And Dr. Meherban Singh evaluated all the 39, and he was little, hyperbolic in his praise for them. He says these 39, they are called Arogya Doots. They are the ambassadors of health. They said they are as good as our students who enter AIMS. Now you can imagine AIMS. Students all over the country fight for some 40, 50 seats in AIMS, and they get selected after a very, very grueling, one of the toughest entrance exams. So he says they're at par with them. The point is, not because they are very brilliant, they can read, write, and all that. These 39 women understood the local requirement. They were part of the local community. They know what is to be done in case of a problem. It was a simple. I mean, they are like the dabbawalas of Bombay. Their deliveries are their perfection of their deliveries. Their perfect deliveries of the highest order, basically because their business is based on that. A person, this dabbawala takes a food dabba from a house and delivers to a consumer, because that is the crux of his business, his existence. So when your business is about doing something which ensures that is only activity, they may not know higher advances in medical technology and things like that, but they will know how to administer a vaccine or how to administer an antibiotic to a child. That's all. This simple tactic, this simple skill was inculcated into those people, and they came out brilliantly well. Next. So the latest one, this is the latest data I've got with them. The villages they covered as 39. The pregnant, there are 789 pregnancies, out of which high risk pregnancies were 33. Maternal mortality is 0, infant mortality is 0, and patients treated for minor ailments. So these Arogya Doots, you see the lady with the dark glasses in the entire thing. They also treat the patients for minor ailments in addition to the existing, I would say, the problems of childcare. And so these people are also rated by the user by a 13-point scale on which they get a rating of 94.61. And now you can imagine Maharashtra MMR is 33 children per lakh, and Maharashtra infant mortality is 16 per 1,000. This is the difference. And now we are talking about one side, we have an army of called Public Healthcare Department of Government, where people get paid in lakhs, infrastructure, crores and crores of money put in. Whereas here is a small army of 39 people. They probably hardly get 5,000-6,000 rupees as salary, and they've created wonders which probably a traditional top-down approach could never imagine. This is the kind of results Abhay Bang and Rani Bang have shown in Gadchiroli. Next. So this is the they've also compared, for example, between 1993 to 2003, they've compared control area and versus Gadchiroli. Number of villages, you can see the numbers speak for themselves. So when 1993, when they started this entire operation, the neonatal mortality was around 62, whereas in the control area was little lesser at 58. But from there, in 10 years, the neonatal mortality has dropped down to 25. This is over a period of 10 years. After that, it has further come down. Whereas there is no change in spite of no pumping crores and crores of money by the government into the system. This is the difference, and this exactly is the Gandhian approach. Basically, because it's about a small locality where people who really wanted to solve the problem found out the cheapest way of doing things and involved the local community and developed and found solutions for themselves. Now you can imagine a student who studies after so many years of spending, a lot of money and aims and all that, but that student will never come to live in Gadchiroli for 1 week. So our solutions are very archaic, actually. That's what it says. And to top it, Lancet, when they celebrated 100 years, 180 years of history, they have selected many milestones, like vaccinations and the heart transplantation and things like that. They have listed that home-based neonatal care of Gadchiroli as one of the major milestones in public health. That, I think, is one of the biggest recognitions which could have come. But the experiment is in a small place. It is not a. It's not a. It did not happen. People did not put 10,000 crores or 20,000 crores. It's about one doctor couple deciding to do some good in a small area. And today, what happens is, inspired by this, I think Mr. Sam will know. We'll go to the next.
And I think you are also mentioning that this kind of impact can impact African and Asian countries, right?
Yeah. That's what today in 8 African countries, home-based neonatal care is taken as a national program. Even in India, in 2005, as part of the National Rural Health Mission, it was started as what we call as ASHA program.
Yes.
States like Tamil Nadu and Kerala didn't need it because these states are already ahead. But other states, today we have 1 million ASHA workers in the country.
Exactly.
In coming to the next few slides, you will see what that program did. The success of Gadchiroli led to this ASHA. It is called Accredited Social Health Activist Program, launched by Government of India in 2005, UPA 1. This is again a landmark intervention in public health. And this was inspired by Gadchiroli. Now, today we have 1 million people, and they were the, I would say, front end, support during entire COVID, when along with the other traditional healthcare facilities. Unlike Kerala and Tamil Nadu, central and North Indian states don't have this kind of a robust public healthcare infrastructure. These people were the warriors who stood and supported COVID handling during this pandemic. Next. Now you can see that between 1997 to 2017, that is 20 years, maternal mortality rate went from 412 to 103. This is one of the sharpest declines. People say that it has happened in the Asian region overall. The neonatal mortality went down from 46 to 22. And the best part is, for the first time, you've got 1 million people, 10 lakh people go in every village. So any antenatal care, which is these people, especially poor people, getting was at 57% in 1987. In 2017, it was 94%. Quality antenatal care from 37 it went to 85%. Institutional delivery, which was important support in reducing maternal mortality rate and infant mortality rate, went from 34% to 90% today. That's amazing achievement by any standards. And all the government census, 1 million people, 6,000-7,000 rupees salary per month. It's not more than 1,500 crores on a 45 lakh crore budget of the Government of India. This particular giant of an achievement came out of a small Gandhian initiative called Gadchiroli experiment. This is what we are saying Gandhian approach is. Gandhian approach is very simple, very elegant, uses local resources, involves local community, and then it gives a solution at a fraction of the cost of any possible, probably top-down approach which can ever do. Next. So in addition, Abhaibang and Ranibang, they also built a hospital in Gadchiroli so that other diseases also can be taken care. So as we said, the entire hospital was built in consultation with the local community. The local community clearly didn't want the multi-story building. They said the hospital should have only ground floor. There should be no first floor, second floor, some reason. And they said it has to be called as Ma Danteshwari Davakana because for the entire Dandakaranya forest, Ma Danteshwari is the goddess who protects them. So this is part of, it's their hospital today. This community involvement, this stakeholding, this emotional stakeholding is what makes this entire experiment very successful. In addition, they are also having very, very successful programs against alcoholism and malaria, which was rampant in those areas. So together, that particular approach in the last 30 years completely changed this Gadchiroli area. Gadchiroli today gives human development indices at par with Kerala, the best state in India. Next. So this is their numbers, the hospital numbers. So I mean, the numbers speak for itself.
This is the last slide.
Yeah, this is the last slide. Yeah, that's it. It's a small thing. I thought I'll do a small experiment in discussing these points. So any questions we can.
Yeah. Maybe Amalur Pavanathan, you want to go on unmute and you can speak. You want to speak?
Thank
I
you.
will introduce Dr. Amalorpanathan because he
Please.
needs introduction. Mr. Sam, Dr. Amalorpanathan comes from a very, very poor family in Chennai's outskirts. He from there he went on to study medicine. He was a director of cardiovascular surgery.
Sam is trying to say something. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, Bala. I want to listen to Bala.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So he was the director of cardiovascular surgery in Madras Medical College. Madras Medical College is the oldest medical college in India. And then the most important contribution of Dr. Amalorpanathan is that when the organ transplantation became a big problem and became a business, illegal business, so the government of Tamil Nadu entrusted him to convert this problem into an opportunity. So what Dr. Amalorpanathan did was he founded an organization which later on became the Transplantation Organization of Tamil Nadu. He worked with the stakeholders, like people who are involved, both private and public hospitals, and the patients and donors, everyone. He developed the standard operating processes for organ transplantation, which later being copied all over the country. And Tamil Nadu is 7 times larger in terms of organ transplantation in the country compared to other states. That is basically due to the way this state of art area of intervention that is called organ transplantation. So he is, I would call him the father of organ transplantation in Tamil Nadu.
Great. Privilege to have him with us. Welcome.
Thank you very much for your kind words, Bala. Thank you, Mr. Sam, for your appreciation. Now, incidentally, I am also the member of the State Planning Commission of Government of Tamil Nadu, and I focus mainly on health. Now,
Great.
Bala, I completely agree with you that public health is the pillar of not just medicine, but modern medicine. We know what happened in COVID. It was not the private sector who took care of the people's health needs. It was public health departments of various governments of the countries, not just state governments. And the vaccination drive was by governments, not by private enterprises, though the vaccines came from private research. That's a different issue altogether. Now, to come to maternal mortality and infant mortality, I know of Dr. Bank's work for a long time, and we are deeply in awe and respect for their work in Gadchiroli, which laid the foundation for ASHA. Now, we live in 2024, where we will have to marry the elementary public health requirements to the most modern medical advances which these people may need. I will explain to you. Now, if you take maternal mortality in a very remote place, you can reduce maternal mortality, say, from 100 to 40 by improving their nutrition, by frequent ASHA visits and taking care of their local needs, etc. But if you want to reduce from 40 to 20 or 0, this is where modern medicine needs to come in, because this 40 is not due to lack of nutrition. They are basically due to congenital diseases or some correctable diseases for which you need early diagnosis, like early ultrasound, diagnosis the abnormality in the womb itself, and then attending to them immediately after the delivery. See, you were telling me about home-based neonatal care. I am very particular to know about what is this home-based neonatal care all about, because neonatal care is one of the most challenging in modern medicine. I can tell you that I lost my newborn child in spite of the best care in the best tertiary care hospital because the child was underweight. So, if a doctor couple like us with the best of facilities in Chennai could lose a child which was underweight in the most modern neonatal unit of the country, what do you say about the people in Gachiroli? I am talking about the last 40%. I am not talking about 100 to 40. So this 40% will need the most modern medical care. So I must tell you another experiment by a district collector in Tirunelveli recently, where the maternal mortality was 120, around 120. For a long time, it wouldn't come. So this young collector, with the help of public health officials, he didn't do big miracles. For example, he diagnosed anemia very early on. He wouldn't allow anemia to go below 8 grams to treat. He will start treating when it is 10, not when it comes below 8. And he made the equivalent of health ASHA workers or health workers in Tamil Nadu, HVNs we call, health visitors. So the health visitors have to visit them regularly, and there was a control room established in the collector's office where all the calls made by HVNs are monitored, all the visits were monitored, all the vaccination protocol were monitored, all the iron nutrition supplements were monitored, and in 2 years' time, this collector brought the maternal mortality from 120 to 40. Now, today, National Health Mission has accepted that, and now they are trying to roll it as a national program. Again, this is a model which did not involve any extra expenditure, extra budget. It only married the primary health to the tertiary care hospitals in the government sector and saw that this linkage was smooth and the transportation of the patients were prompt and the attention given to medical emergencies were very prompt. So at one point of time, we have to marry essentials of public health with the tertiary care. Otherwise, this will not work. We can reduce. I will tell you another example. Anemia. Even today, India, we have around 40 to 50% of the children anemic, around 30 to 40% of the women anemic. You pump whatever amount of iron you like. For the past 25 years, we are pumping. It has come down by 5%, 10%, not beyond that. If you want to reduce beyond that, this is where the tertiary care medicine comes. You will have to deworm them. You will have to test why the iron is not getting absorbed. Should there be any other better way of giving iron instead of iron sucrose? We must give iron in some other form, or we will have to give iron parenterally to some people. All these things needed to be done by marrying public health with the tertiary care. CMC Vellore is doing this admirably in their own rural outreach program so that anemia in women are tackled very early so that the childbirth becomes normal. As you know, that anemia, childbirth, safe delivery, infant mortality, and normal growth up to 2 years, they are all linked together. For this whole chain to function smoothly, you will have to marry public health with tertiary care at an appropriate level, which is cost effective, which is rational, which is scientific. This is what I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good to have
In
you
fact,
with us.
yeah. In fact, Sam, I was wondering if we can communicate to Dr. Abhaibang and Ranibang. They can come. I mean, Dr.
Sure.
Abhaibang can come and give an explanation. What are the various ways of they have dispensed the neonatal care, home-based neonatal care?
Very
Because
good.
they are the experts. I'm at the end of the day a storyteller, but they will be able to really respond with a lot more updated data.
Because infant mortality has been a big challenge. In 80s in UP, we had almost over 100
Yes.
per thousand. And Kerala always had very good indicators. And we never learned lessons from Kerala up in north. Kerala is a great example, or South, the whole of South is a great example for a lot of these things. And we don't need to go abroad to find solutions. They're all there locally.
About the bringing this ASHA program, Sam. So I think you might have been in government advising prime ministers then. So what was the thinking? So why you guys introduced such program?
ASHA program was really designed to bring in ultimately 2 million health workers in rural area. That was the main idea. It was really extension of what we discussed today. I can give you my own personal example. My mother delivered 8 children in a small little tribal village in Orissa, Titilagad. No doctor, no nurse, no pharmacy, ever. I'm talking about 40s. All 8 out of 8 turned out to be mentally healthy, physically healthy, all studied well, reasonable height, well growth, only because there was a dai who used to come home to deliver babies. I remember her very well because I was number 3. And she would come home to deliver. Delivery would be at home. She didn't read or write, but she was an expert in delivering. And immediately she'll give some bath to kid and put some oil and massage. And I tell you, the kind of things she did was amazing. And that one woman served the entire village. I'm talking about, 75, 80, I'm 82. So I'm talking about, almost 100 years ago. Okay. She made, in a sense, what we are. Okay. That knowledge is gone. There are no guys like her anymore. I don't know how you train them. Okay. And that's the wisdom we have lost. So now if you want to deliver, you have to go to hospital. It is several tens of thousands of rupees of expense. In America, it is, tens of thousands of dollars. And it's pretty risky at the same time. So there is some truth to traditional way of doing things. And they must have done something right. Yeah. So thank you.
I have one question for Bala. Bala, see, there is this is a very very important concept of what they have been able to make a dent in the tribal areas where the accessibility for healthcare is not there. So, but think about now this becoming some kind of some fad movement that even in areas, okay, you are living inside the crux of Coimbatore, you have all kind of facilities, doctor and stuff, but still you are trying to go back to this home-based neonatal care for the sake of belief that okay, that's the best thing, not the hospital one. So that is not correct. There are some of these guys like Healer Bhaskar. There's a movement around that guy. A lot of fad stuff. So what do you think? See, and there are a lot of deaths and the people consciously avoiding going to the hospital system because they built theories around okay, in general healthcare system is kind of corrupt and some kind of conspiracy theories. So what do you think about an completely alter ecosystem which is existing in this neonatal care, where they are trying to promote the home-based neonatal care, but for very different reasons. Here we are trying to talk about, Sam is talking about Orissa tribal for 100 years ago. So likewise, this doctor couple is doing something in Maharashtra in a very hardcore tribal area where healthcare is not easily accessible. What do you
I
think?
think I will let Dr. Amal to respond to that first, and I will add later. He is the right person to talk on this.
Yes. Uh, in my opinion, Gandhism is not shunning the developments of science and technology. Gandhism is taking the most relevant science and technology to people to help them to lead a better life. Mr. Sam Pitroda was born 85 years back in Orissa in a village. Today, is it logical to expect a woman in Orissa to deliver at home in with the help of a dye when there is a gynecologist available in the government primary health center there? Is it correct? Should we not take the best of the obstetrics and pediatric practice to help these women and children survive? It is extremely lucky, I would say, extremely lucky that all Mr. Sam Pitroda's and siblings survived 100 years back. But what was the maternal and infant mortality then in his own village?
Very high.
It is sorry, it is just that their family
Yeah.
was lucky, because if this was replicable, India would not have had this high infant mortality rate and maternal mortality rate at all. Why was it high in spite of those dies? It was high because it was inadequate. So we will have to move from what was inadequate to what is needed today.
Absolutely.
So my point is, every person is entitled to the best medical care available today. Health is their fundamental right. It is not some largesse. But what is best, we will have to decide. And that best must reach the remotest of the village. And that is our promise that we will have to give to the people, like what even Gandhi would have done today.
Correct. I'll add to that point. I completely agree. That is not comparable. Like the healer Bhaskar kind of fake guys who come with pseudoscience as a solution. But the point is that the home-based neonatal care is very required in Gadchiroli. But in a place like urbanized state like Tamil Nadu and all that, you don't require it. But even here, I think Dr. Amal sir will agree that the home-based medical attention is being given. I'll tell you why. Some of the lifestyle diseases like blood pressure or diabetes and all that, people in villages, they really don't take them seriously until it becomes very, very, say at that time. Today, Tamil Nadu runs a program called Makkalai Thedi Maruthuvam. That is the medical care goes in search of people. So there is both in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Kerala has a fantastic geriatric services where old people who cannot come to hospital, the hospital and the hospital services goes to their houses to treat them. So my point is, one solution need not be like what Sam said. It need not be the same solution for every problem. The idea is take of that and apply it in a new situation and see how very low cost involve the local community and then work with them so that the overall community benefits in this kind of approaches.
I want to read some of the comments coming from our LinkedIn and few other places. Dr. Amit
Let's
Saini,
open up for questions. Yeah, that's good.
but it looks like a commentary. Mahatma Gandhi's relevance today lies in his philosophy of non-violence, ahimsa, truth, and his approach to social justice and equality. His principles continue to resonate in various fields, be it social movements, political leadership, and personal ethics. Here are a few ways Gandhi's ideas remain significant in contemporary times: non-violence in global conflicts, in a world marked by violence and conflict. Gandhi's advocacy for non-violence resistance offers a model for resolving. And also, I think there's a long comment. I think certainly, I think Dr. Saini, Amit Saini is a serious follower of us, our program. So I think he's talking about political and ethical leadership in an age where political leadership often faces ethical dilemmas. Gandhi's emphasis on moral integrity, humility, and service offers timeless lessons. This concept of trusteeship challenges leaders to act as stewards of society's resources for the collective good, not for personal or political gain. Human rights and dignity. Gandhi's respect for human dignity, irrespective of religion or nationality, remains significant. His universal ideals appeals to global audiences. And another one is social justice and equality. Gandhi's fight against untouchability and caste-based discrimination highlights the importance of social justice. His emphasis on equality remains pertinent in countries grappling with systemic discrimination based on race, gender, caste, and religion. For example, movements for racial justice like Black Lives Matter echo Gandhi's call for dignity and fairness for all. Environmental sustainability and simple living. Gandhi's principle for self-sufficiency. Minimalism. I think great comments, Dr. Saini. I think as opened up by Sam Pitroda long ago, I think we would love to have you in one of our show. I think long ago you passed upon some important inputs when it came to women safety. So, and I think we have.
Yeah, Amit Sani has been very, very effective in his interventions.
Yeah.
I think someone has picked up the edible oil project also, Sam.
Yeah. Thank you. And apologies about Ratan Tata. So I think greatly admired and followed Babu ideology. Do you have anything to talk about Ratan Tata?
No, my condolences to all of those close to Ratan and Tata family. He was a good friend. My wife and I had a couple of lunches with him. He was the leader of the modern business in India. You know that he was celebrated, recognized, respected. In my personal case, I can tell you, we have a foundation that I started along with Darshan Shankar in Bangalore. Now it is called Transdisciplinary University. The foundation was started over 30 years ago. And about 10 years ago, I talked to Ratan, maybe 15 years ago. Went to Tata Trust, spent 2 years evaluating and all. And finally, Ratan gave us 50 crore cash. 50 crore cash to this foundation in Bangalore. He came with me to inaugurate the hospital in Bangalore. So he was a great man. It's a great loss. Enough is said about him. What can I say? There are millions who admire him. You know, all his staff, all his executive team has written a lot. And we'll miss him. I will miss him. India will miss him.
Looks like despite his wealth, he has also followed Mahatma Gandhi's ideal.
He's a simple guy, comparatively. So, you know, that's all said. I think enough is known about all that.
Thank you, sir. I think Dr. Saini is also talking about some interesting modern techniques through which some of this infant mortality rate can be reduced. FMR and IMR can be reduced. Next generation AI-powered fetal monitoring system. I think he's also talking about that idea. Fetal light is a next generation AI-powered fetal heart rate monitor based on fetal ECG signal extraction technology that can be used during labor or post 24 weeks of gestation. So I think he has built a product, or he's talking about a product which is kind of the current technology is detecting fetal distress in the non-stress test and cardiotocography. This device uses Doppler and pressure sensors to measure fetal heart rate and uterine contractions, but has certain limitations. It is bulky and electricity dependent. This device needs an obstetrician or skilled nurse to locate the fetal heart rate and place probes appropriately. Also, data quality is variable as probes can slip off due to maternal motion or lose signal due to changes in fetal position. So he has tried this to bring to organization in Punjab but was unsuccessful. But it can be done. Fetal light Doppler can do this. So I think he is also trying a bunch of innovation. Good job, Dr. Amit Saini. So I think that's about it. But I think it was a great conversation, Bala, bringing the story of Abhay and Rani Bang to us, and how even Gandhism is still relevant. There are people like Abhay and Rani Bang doing things like wonderful things without much worried about the returns and the kudos what they are going to get back from the world, and making a dent even after receiving the top education. So I think it's a phenomenal story what you have brought. I think these are the kind of stories which will inspire Priyamatas or even folks like me. Go ahead, Balaji.
One point which I want to correct. When we say Gandhi is still relevant, and that I think we should remove the word still relevant. For example, the quality of healthcare which the Abhay Bang and Rani Bang are imparting in Gadchiroli, it is 100th at the cost of 100th of the cost government of Maharashtra otherwise will be spending on normal. So Gandhi is the right thing to do. If you want to reduce your government expenditure, understand how Rabai Bang and Rani Bang are doing, are dispensing healthcare, or how Arvind Eye Care is giving eye care at a fraction of a cost. Arvind Eye Hospital gives a quality of eye care better than NHS, National Health Services of England, at less than 100th of the price of England's budget. So Gandhi is not still. Gandhi is the way. All other ways are inefficient. Let's understand that way. For example, when Arvind makes 39% EBITDA, when your the corporate hospital makes only 14% EBITDA, which is the most efficient way. Let's not get it wrong. All other corporate or government interventions are all very expensive. They use resources very, very, inefficiently. The most efficient way of doing things is Gandhian.
Yep.
Let's get this way. Let's put that as the mainstream and let the private sector or government understand and study how these Gandhian interventions are able to solve people's problem at much lesser resources and much efficiently.
Radhesham Daroga from Facebook is saying, since UPA 1, every hospital delivery is encouraged and mother is paid 1400 rupees plus ambulance for it.
Amal sir, can you just tell me the similar incentive, which is this particular incentivization is from Tamil Nadu. Probably he can explain how we incentivize the visits to the pregnant mothers to visit hospital.
The exact details I do not know. I mean, I don't remember offhand. It is the total of 18,000 rupees given from the date of conception to registration of the conception in PICME database till the child is delivered and all the vaccinations are completed. So this money is given in 3 or 4 installments. I can't remember correctly. I think 3 or 4 installments. Before dispersing every installment, we make sure that the pregnant woman attains reasonable standards, and then the next installment is released. And so, which means the health worker is constantly at the pregnant woman, and the pregnant woman also knows that unless she takes nutritious meals, improves the hemoglobin, increase the blood, increase her weight, next installment may be a little bit delayed, etc. But it was never withheld. It was a bit delayed. No cash incentive was withheld, and it proved very, very successful. That most of the problems with the peri-obstetric period are now well taken care of because women want to come into the government public health fold because of this program. This includes even child's birth registration so that everything is seamless. So this kind of direct money transfer to women, all pregnant women, definitely made a change in Tamil Nadu. We have a lot of data. I don't remember offhand,
Yes.
but it has definitely made the life of pregnant women much better and delivery much safer.
I'll tell you,
We
Shan,
are on the- yeah.
I'll just add 2 lines to it. You know why that monetary incentive was devised? Because typically the problem of IMR, MMR is related to lower end of the society where women are either they go at agricultural laborer or work in some other places like menial jobs. So for them, taking 2 days of their life and go to hospital is a big luxury. So the first time when she goes when confirmed pregnancy, she's given 4,000 rupees. It takes care of her 1 week's wages. We can never ever imagine the comfort that 4,000 rupees gives it to her. I'm telling you, these are all amazing incentives. People typically, the elite guys say that you are giving money to somebody to get procreate. That's how. I mean, I don't want to use the same words. I have friends who have told me like that, but that's not the point. The woman delivers a baby safe and the baby is healthy. The number of children in that family goes down. That is also directly linked. So these are all very clearly data-based, I would say, policies and processes which came from Kerala and Tamil Nadu, which today are being taken out. I think that we should be proud of that fact.
Actually, it is just 18,000 rupees per head, Bala. It is
Yes,
not
sir.
at all money by any state budget.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Awesome. Dr. Amalur Pravanathan, I just want to ask, we are in the last summary of the session. So, kind of how important Gandhi is for you, kind of even in current way, not only healthcare, even for doing things Gandhi at 155, the topic.
My mentor used to say this often. Good medicine is cheap. It is only bad medicine which is very expensive. So, if you are extremely rational, if you are extremely conscious about the people who you are treating, amidst their surroundings, amidst their capabilities in their family milieu, you will be extremely logical, you will be extremely rational, and you will definitely be a Gandhian.
Thank you. Sam, any summarizing thought? Hopefully, Bala will be coming up with one another topic, Changemaker next week. We'll try to do this for a few more weeks or as many weeks as possible. So go ahead, Sam.
No, it's great. I want to thank both of our guests. This has been interesting. We need more of this. At the end, Gandhi has to be a way of life. It's just so simple in many ways, and then it is so complicated in some other way. It's about doing things with local resources, minimum resources. It's about character, it's about morals, it's about ethics. And we need to really practice Gandhi in our own way. And different people have different idea of what Gandhi is, which is okay. So I'm glad we have started this, and I really want to thank both of our guests for joining us, and we invite them to come again and share with us. I also want to thank all our friends joining and asking questions. It is because of them that we continue this conversation. Every week we have hundreds of people joining, and I'm told thousands of people watching this. So we need to multiply. Thank you, everybody. Thank you both.
Sir, just one question.
Yes, Prabal.
As both of you, like on the panel, sirs mentioned that we have Gandhiji mentioned about Gram Swaraj, and he wanted decentralization of the like a rural area should be a complete unit of whether it be healthcare or be it cleanliness. But now we see that the gap is widening. Like I can tell you from my example, I come from a village in Konkan, Maharashtra. So in there, if any of the neonatal cares, if there is a complication, the people have to run to the next big city like Kolhapur or Satara or so still we have not achieved this. So can you just shed a light, like is there a intent of the government sides of what is lacking, or why is it not like the rural areas the same type of amenity services are provided like we have in the urban areas? That is my question.
I think I'll request Dr. Ramal to respond.
Thank you.
The answer to it lies in two key words. One is decentralization of all powers, not just some powers, but all powers. Second is equity and social justice built into every scheme that the government thinks of or plans to implement. To happen that, we must elect representatives who respond to people's need in the most honest, genuine, and transparent way, and who are role models themselves and not otherwise. Till such thing happens, we will face problems like the people of your village face today. Thank you.
To just add a few words, post Panchayati Raj in 1993, some amount of devolution of powers and finances went to the local government. One state which used it the most is Kerala. So if you go to any village in Kerala, the primary health center in Kerala, the women in Kerala need not go like what you're saying. They need not travel hundreds of kilometers to get the best world-class medical care, primary medical care. And they then on that they have built up secondary and tertiary medical facilities. So Kerala is one state where probably you will feel like you are in Europe as far as medical facilities are concerned. The answer is very simple, as Dr. Amal said: devolution of power to the gram panchayats. Panchayat Raj, as Gandhi said, is one of the most it should form the core of governance in India.
Yes, so because even Asha workers, they are suffering, like they didn't get their salaries are not paid. So feel that there is some lack of intent also from the those who like are in the government or those who the authorities part. So I think this should also be a people's movement. I mean, there is no check whatsoever. We don't find these schemes. I'm talking about Maharashtra, which is still better. If you go to the north and in the interiors, it's just the gap is like just widening across. So
Very,
somewhere down the line, like I feel that the rural areas, we need to more focus on them as regards to healthcare.
very true.
Thank you.
Thank you, Priyamata. Thanks a lot, Balasubramaniam. Looking forward to talk with you in another topic.
Thank
Sam,
you, everybody.
thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you.